welcome back. Joining us on our program today is Jeff Parker. He usually gives us an update on Monday to see how we did over the weekend. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Paul. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Not too bad. Here we go. Another week, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Good numbers, though. Great news.
Good numbers on COVID. As you can see on the chart, we're the positive test rate of 4.8%. The numbers have keep creeping down, which is really good. Positive test cases were 254. I guess always saying the unfortunate news is they did have 4 additional deaths, but at 254, we're seeing that number drop down, and that continues to go down. The good part about that significance at 254 was that there were 13,000 tests during that time period. So that percentage is dropping quite a bit, which was reflected on that 4.8 that we see up there. Hospitalization's gone down. We're down at 322 in the hospital, and our ICU, which shows that increase going up 35%, is down. This is the first time I've seen the number below 100 at 99. So that's really good to see. And of course, we're on day number 8 with regards to being off of that list from the state.
Right, and that's about halfway.
Trying to get past 14 days off of that list, and then they can start looking at additional things that are opening up. But as you mentioned, the governor announced Friday that they were doing a new process with regards to reopening up facilities. And that was kind of a unique, color coordinated, a little confusing for some things. But for Orange County, what that means is the indoor malls can reopen. The barbershops and the nail salons can reopen, but on a limited basis, like 25% capacity is what they were talking about with regards to nail salons and barbershops. And the same way with gymnasiums, they're not allowed to open yet. So again, depending on the activity, you need to find out, go to those websites that talk about, and you can get the detailed information of what's going to be open, what's not. But again, it's a slow reopening. It's interesting they did it this week, and we'll see how we get through the Labor Day weekend and see if that makes a difference. But I think curtailing it to percentages of opening up, not just fully opening up, may help regulate that coming through the holiday.
Yeah, you just mentioned it. You know, the key is really going to be this weekend. After the Labor Day weekend, I was talking to Mark Weiss, and you know, the Newport Beach and the beach areas are still pretty crowded. And we'll see how the weekend goes. And then, unfortunately, there's a lag after that too. So we might see numbers spike probably, you know, maybe at the end of the month once people have been tested or becomes systematic, you know, having some of these ailments. But we'll see. Hopefully the people are safe and smart about how their gatherings are over the weekend. But I know a lot of people are kind of tired of being at home, right?
It is a concern. I admit, I had a relative down, and we actually went down by one of the Newport piers type of thing. There are a lot of people out on the beach, and just people walking around without masks. I was a little surprised. Obviously, we were wearing our masks, but we walked by a number of people that were just walking, riding their bikes. Maybe they felt because they were in open air they could do that, but that is a little scary when people don't follow the social distancing and the mask requirements.
And that's interesting because I believe that's why we've been so successful here in Laguna Woods Village, is because, you know, at first there was quite a bit of an uproar, I would say, about the mask policy, and yet I believe that's why the numbers and our cases are so low, is because the residents out there, you know, are abiding by that. And when we go out in their community, you see people with masks on, and it's really been a positive experience for our community.
Absolutely, and we're still at 50, so that just what you're saying. We've stayed at 50 now for a number of days, and not seeing that grow exponentially like it has in other communities has been great for us as far as seeing numbers. And more positive is, like you said, our residents really are following the rules and in most cases, and it's really great. So we don't have to go, we don't want to fine people, we don't want to punish people for not doing it. We want people to abide by the rules and continue to be safe out there.
Absolutely, and what's interesting is the surrounding communities are still pretty high. So it's kind of interesting, you know, a lot of people say, well, it's that area. Well, we're abiding by the rules and sticking with the policies here, and it's really showed. And then some of the surrounding ones, like you just said, are not wearing masks or maybe not using the preventive measures
Mm-hmm.
and their numbers might be a little bit higher.
And for our community, I think when I say the community, we're talking about the city, but our residents go out. They don't just stay in our gates. You know, they go to the markets. They do that, and they're following those rules there. And again, I think that's been fantastic.
Absolutely. We have a live meeting. If you're watching our morning program, we do have a live special corporate members meeting. That's at 10:30 this morning.
Yep, and they have a one position that they're voting for to fill in the GRF board. So that's today.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we start the final leg of our budgetary process with GRF's regular meeting tomorrow, and they'll be adopting their resolution approving their annual budget starting for 2021. So that's the first step, and then United and Third will follow in line in their following Tuesday meetings. So that's really glad to see that moving forward and excited about that.
Absolutely, and those boards too will be looking for candidates as well, because not only are we through the budget, we're getting through the budget process, but as soon as the budget process wraps up, we get into that election process where there's always a candidate open and seat open in the board. So we're encouraging people to get a hold of Cheryl Silva, and she's the
Corporate
secretary, and we'll be sure and get you that email information a little bit later, but she's available at your office, and they can either call or get in those applications. I think United is today. We talked to Carl on Saturday, Carl Randazzo with United, and he was emphasizing how important it was that if you wanted to be a candidate, we need to contact the Cheryl Silva today or Grant Schultz, who can help them out.
That's correct.
Yeah. What else do you have this week? Anything else going on?
Yeah, one other piece of information that we had talked about last week, but we want to confirm, is that we're expanding our quarters distribution to going from not just before it was $10 worth of quarters you could get. Now you can get $10 or $20 worth of quarters. So that'll give people a little bit more capacity.
Right.
And that stays the same. That's Thursday and Friday from 8 to 12. At Clubhouse 5 and Clubhouse 3.
Yeah, you getting some really good response from that? I would imagine so.
We did, and we continue. And one of the things we're going to put more notification out there to just make sure that people that are using the laundry facilities know that we have the quarter distribution. But it's been good. It's been pretty active. And luckily, we haven't gotten into a situation where we had too much request.
Right.
So it's balanced. And the nice thing about balance is being able to enhance that up to $20.
And to provide the service that the residents need in a safe environment for them, instead of going to the bank and waiting in line.
That, and still out there is the coin issue, and there's still a shortage out there, and so we're paying attention to that, and we'll continue to help our residents as long as that is still the case out there with the coin shortage.
Very good. Well, we'll be sure to change the message board announcement too, and then be sure and let everybody know that it's now $20, and that way they make one less trip.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Anything else you want to share with us today?
Again, I just wanted to mention to people that we have the new reservation system for our tennis and pickleball. That's been online now since Thursday, and we'll continue that operation now. But you can still call in if you need to. Right. But I think if you'll find that this new courts reservation system is working really well, and it's more simplistic than the old system, and it allows you more flexibility with regards to getting your court reservations. And we'll start expanding that in the future with some of our other activities.
Sounds great. It sounds like reservations are working just like we had hoped. Especially online. Everybody's kind of getting used to this digital era now, especially with COVID and Zoom and everything like that. And people are kind of taking, they're welcoming some of these changes where before they might have been a little more hesitant. So I'm glad it's working out for everyone. Yep. Well, we'll let you get going because you have a corporate meeting to start here in about an hour or so. So we'll see you on Village Television about 10:30 then.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks for joining us again today. Well, that's Jeff Parker. He's our Chief Executive Officer, and he joins us on Mondays and Fridays here on this day. We'll be back with more of our program right after this.